Hello, and welcome to Raw Stories, Authors and Readers. Today, we'll talk about the challenges indie authors face when trying to publish their books. Many people believe that once a book is written, publishing it is the easy part, but that's far from true. The truth is, the whole world seems to stand against new, unknown authors. Their manuscripts are often rejected or simply ignored without any feedback, the so-called silent rejection. That's why indie authors are often forced to take matters into their own hands, to publish their works independently and find creative ways to reach their readers. So, let's get started. What does it mean to be an indie author? An indie author is a writer who publishes their own work instead of going through traditional publishing houses, such as the Big Five in the US or other large publishers worldwide. Most often this involves self-publishing, full control, and higher royalties, blurring boundaries, a long tradition. 1. Self-publishing. The term self-publishing may sound complicated, but at its core, it simply means publishing your work yourself. The author manages the entire process, from editing and cover design to uploading the book on platforms and handling sales. This is the very heart of indie authorship. Indie authors take full control of the process. Editing. They hire an editor or do it themselves. Cover design, hiring a designer or using templates. Formatting for print and ebooks. Marketing and sales, handling their own promotion and advertising. Distribution, using platforms like Amazon Kindle Direct Publishing, Kobo Writing Life, Smashwords, etc. 2. Full control and higher royalties. The biggest advantage for indie authors is both creative and financial control. They have the final say on everything from the title to the price. Royalties are also significantly higher compared to traditional publishing, where the author typically receives only a small percentage. What are royalties? Royalties are the percentage of the book's sale price that the author earns. For example, if a book costs $10 and the platform pays 70% royalties, the author receives $7, while the remaining $3 goes to the platform/store. 3. Blurring boundaries. In recent years, thanks to technology, many indie authors have achieved huge sales, with some even landing on bestseller lists. Their success proves that you don't need a big publisher to reach a wide audience. 4. A long tradition. In fact, indie authors are continuing a long tradition. Many great writers, like Walt Whitman and Mark Twain, self-published their works before self-publishing became accessible to everyone. Today, indie authors are a driving force in modern publishing, creating enormous variety and diversity in reading choices. 2 platforms for indie authors: Kobo Writing Life and Smashwords. These platforms are at the core of what's known as going wide in indie publishing. While Amazon KDP dominates in the US and UK, Kobo and Smashwords help authors reach readers worldwide. Going wide means not publishing exclusively with Amazon through KDP Select, but instead distributing your book across as many retailers and platforms as possible, either directly or via aggregators. KDP Select, Amazon exclusivity, requires an author to publish only on Amazon in exchange for promotional tools and payments based on pages read via Kindle Unlimited. Kobo Writing Life, KWL. What it is: the free self-publishing portal of Rakuten Kobo, a major global ebook retailer and e-reader producer. Key advantages. Global reach. Kobo has strong positions in Canada, Australia, France, Japan, and other regions where Amazon is weaker. Retail partnerships. Kobo books reach major retailers worldwide. Libraries. Overdrive indie authors can make their books available to libraries across the globe. Audiobooks. Direct upload of audiobooks is available. Royalties. Up to 70% royalties for books above a certain price point. Smashwords, now part of Draft 2 Digital. What it is: founded in 2008 with the mission of democratizing publishing, Smashwords was acquired by Draft 2 Digital, D2D, in 2022. Key advantages. Aggregator. Instead of uploading separately to Apple Books, Barnes & Noble, Kobo, etc., you upload once and Smashwords/D2D distributes everywhere. Wide network. Access to smaller bookstores, subscription services, and libraries. Free to use. Uploading and distribution are free, The platform takes a small percentage from sales. Note: an aggregator is a service that distributes your book to multiple stores on your behalf. Draft2 Digital and Smashwords are two of the best-known examples. Why authors turn to indie publishing? Many authors self-publish because access to traditional publishers is extremely difficult. Manuscripts often get ignored, rejected, or left unanswered for months. Self-publishing becomes the only way to share their work with the world. But today, indie publishing is no longer just a plan B. The necessity argument: hard access. 1. Gatekeepers. Publishers, editors, and agents decide which books get through. Thousands of manuscripts are submitted each year. Only a handful are chosen. 2. Sales-driven focus. Publishers look for market trends and safe bets. Debut, niche, or genre-bending books are often rejected without feedback. 3. Silence and delay. Authors may wait months, only to receive a generic rejection or no response at all. Self-publishing is a democratic response to this closed model, giving every author a chance to publish rather than leaving their work in a drawer. The choice argument: control and finances. For many authors today, self-publishing is a deliberate choice, even if they could get a traditional deal. 1. Higher royalties. Indie authors keep 60 to 80% of revenues, compared to 8 to 15% with traditional publishers. 2. Speed and control. From cover design to pricing, indies decide everything. They can publish in weeks versus 1 to 2 years with a traditional publisher. 3. Hybrid authors. Many successful writers combine both models, publishing some books independently for control and royalties, and others traditionally for reach. The role of agents and publishers. As you noted, writing and selling are two very different skills. Few people excel at both. That's why the traditional system still matters. Publishers and literary agents act as the merchants who sell the author's work. The literary agent represents the author, sells manuscripts to publishers, negotiates contracts, and typically takes 15 to 20% of the author's earnings. The publisher handles editing, cover design, printing, distribution, PR, and sales staff, essentially investing their own money so the author can focus on writing. This explains the trade-off. Better to earn 10% on 10,000 copies than 70% on 100 copies. Inspiring examples of indie success. Amanda Hawking. After countless rejections, she self-published her paranormal novels on Amazon and Smashwords. Within a year, she sold over 1 million copies and earned millions of dollars. Hugh Howey. Self-published Wool, which spread by word of mouth, became a global hit and led to major publishing deals and film adaptation rights. Andy Weir released The Martian chapter by chapter on his blog, then as a cheap Kindle ebook. It sold tens of thousands, caught the attention of publishers, and later Hollywood. Final thoughts. Being an indie author isn't easy. It requires courage, persistence, and belief in your words. But it also offers the greatest freedom to write what you truly believe in and to share it without waiting for permission. Readers don't care if a book comes from a big publisher or is self-published. What they care about is quality, story, and impact. So never give up. Keep trying. If one door closes, another will open. And trust your readers. They always recognize a good book. To be an indie author is to be both creator and pioneer, walking a harder path, but one that leads to freedom. Today, we've talked about indie authors and the difficulties they face on their journey. The beginning is never easy. But if you don't give up, if you keep pushing forward with persistence and belief in yourself, you will eventually see the results of your hard work. As we mentioned earlier, being an indie author isn't an easy path. It takes courage, dedication, and faith in your own words. Be strong. Be brave. Stay consistent. Believe in yourself, and you will succeed. Thank you for being with Raw Stories, authors and readers.